Live from Denver, this is Fox 31 News at 4. We're on it.
Right now, a teenage inmate back in custody after investigators say he stabbed a guard and escaped while at the dentist. New details this hour on the suspect and the latest on the guard's condition. All new at 4, Fox 31 goes one-on-one with former Aurora Police Chief and current interim chief Dan Oates about the department's recent turmoil and his hopes for the future. And the Avs' quest for a third Stanley Cup continues tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. It's Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. We're live at Ball Arena for a preview. There is a lot to get to tonight at 4, and we start with pinpoint weather as rain is moving onto the Front Range right now.
Yeah, it was sprinkling when I came in this afternoon. These conditions could have an impact on the evening rush. Here's Chief Meteorologist Dave Frazier pinpointing the latest. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, here we are, the last day of May. We're actually just a little behind for moisture for the month, and we have a good chance later tonight to pick up some much-needed rain and snow in the Colorado Mountains. You can see it kind of feathering out now off the foothills and across Denver. The intensity of the rain will go from a light shower to a little more steady, and that's about it. Any lightning has been back to the north and west. I won't rule out a rumble of thunder, but in most places it's just going to be what you see here, and that is rain showers moving in and across the area. Meanwhile, you head off to the west and you get up above 8,000 feet, it transitions over to snow, and they're expecting so much snow way up high past 9,000 feet up to the Continental Divide that there's a winter weather advisory. Now, the impact here is mainly going to be wet roads until well after sunset tonight, but anybody going into the mountains late tonight or before sunrise tomorrow, you may find on some of the passes some slick conditions. We'll show you the snow here in just a second. So the snow is in blue. There's the rain. Do you see the yellow areas by 9 o'clock tonight? That's going to be heavier rain, and again, maybe a rumble of thunder possible. And then by tomorrow morning, it's kind of pushing off to the north and east very quickly. Everything will drive from south to north across the area. I will run Futurecast out through the day. But the snow in the mountains, look at this, 1, 2 to 3 inches. But in the deeper blue way up high, could be as much as 8 inches or more of very heavy, wet snow on the way. That's why they have the advisory. Temperatures right now, 30s, 40s, 50s, and a few 60s out east. Here's your hour by hour, staying in the 50s all the way until 9 o'clock tonight when we hit 48 degrees. So here's what I'm tracking. Evening rain, mountain snow, and we finally will dry out and warm back up. I'll talk about that as we look ahead to your Pinpoint Weather 7-day forecast.
Sounds good, Dave. Harrowing moments today during a manhunt for a teenage inmate who investigators say stabbed a corrections officer. They say it happened in a dentist office today.
Fox 31's Vicente Arenas was the only reporter to speak with an employee and get video of that arrest. Vicente is joining us now live from Lakewood with what else he's finding out. Vicente.
This story all day long has had one development after another. So many questions about how this happened in the first place. How was somebody that had been arrested able to escape and then hobble away from here, all happening at this dentist's office? The 17-year-old had made an appointment through the youth services that he was being held at to have a procedure done here close to 9 o'clock in the morning. Juan Osequera was having that procedure done when investigators say he stabbed a corrections officer from the Platte Valley Youth Services Center. The officer was able to stand and walk out of the office after being stabbed. We were told he's going to be okay. The juvenile then ran out the back door. A number of law enforcement agencies came to help and search for the teen. Our cameras captured this video you'll see only on Fox 31 of his capture. He was found and arrested about 4 hours later, several blocks away. He was hiding in a backyard detached garage.
My officer suspected that he was possibly in the garage behind me at the residence. He suspected that because he viewed video from other residents and didn't see the suspect walk out of the alley earlier.
Investigators say Osequera was being held at the Platte Valley Youth Services Center out of Greeley. It's not clear why he was being detained there. I'm being told only under very few specified circumstances should a youth detainee not be handcuffed. So this afternoon, as I mentioned a moment ago, lots of questions about why he was not wearing them. Had a very interesting conversation with someone who was working inside the dentist's office who came out and talked about having an encounter, coming face to face with this 17-year-old as he escaped. We're going to tell you what he told her as he made a run for it. That's coming up at 5 o'clock right here on Fox 31. Reporting live from Lakeside, Vicente Arenas, Fox 31.
Vicente, thank you. Meanwhile, today, all charges against Bronco player Jerry Jeudy have been dropped following a motion from the Arapahoe County District Attorney's Office. Jerry Jeudy was facing 2 misdemeanor charges accused of no physical contact criminal violence. His attorney releasing a statement saying in part that, quote, after reviewing the evidence, I always believed that no crime had been committed. Jeudy was set to be in court this afternoon, but the appearance was vacated and the bond released.
Well, the body of a man has been recovered from Lake Pueblo days after a boat capsized. We know this happened on Sunday night. Pueblo County coroner has identified that man as 30-year-old Joshua Prindle. His wife, 38-year-old Jessica Prindle, was pronounced dead at that scene. 13 people were on board that boat, including 8 children. 11 people in total were rescued and taken to the hospital for injuries and hypothermia. Well, in other news, just hours ago, Fox 31 talking one-on-one with Aurora's new interim police chief, Daniel Oates. Now, he's a familiar face to many, and that's because he served as the city's top cop before, from 2005 to 2014. Fox 31's Joshua Short joins us now with a preview of their conversation. It's all new at 4. Josh.
Hey guys, Chief Oates is back as chief, but it's only for 6 months. He's hoping to accomplish a lot in that time. His ambitions include bridging a widening trust gap between police and the community, bettering department morale, and bringing crime down like he did during his last tenure as chief. Crime reduced 30% under your tenure. How will you be able to do that again? Can you do that again?
The answer is, as an organization, that should be our goal, and we should be striving every day. The goal as a police chief is to remind cops every day, this is why we're here.
And coming up at 5 o'clock, everybody, the problem solvers have been reporting extensively on the state attorney general's investigation into the department. You may remember they found a pattern and practice of civil rights issues for years. I actually asked the chief if he takes any responsibility for this culture. Find out his answer at 5 o'clock. I'm Joshua Short, Fox 31.
All right, looking forward to that, Josh. Meanwhile, we are now less than 2 hours away from the puck dropping. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers.
A lot of people excited. Let's get straight to Fox 31's Aaron Anderson live at Ball Arena with a preview. Hey, Aaron.
Yes, we are counting down to puck drop for Game 1, and if you think about it, what's 2 more hours when you've waited 20 years to see your team play in the Western Conference Finals? That's the story for Avalanche fans. They're going to have this place rocking a little bit later tonight. Now, the last time the Avalanche played this deep into the postseason was 2002, when the Red Wings were still a thing. Gabe Landeskog and Nathan McKinnon, those two were in grammar school. And when the puck drops tonight, they say this will be a dream come true, and they're planning to make the most of it.
It's been a rise, like I said. A lot of second-round losses, but I felt like we were a better team each time we lost, if that makes any sense. And we're progressing, and got a lot of leaders in the room now, so that helps a lot. We're not so young anymore.
It's been a gradual journey, and we've gotten better and better every season. It feels like we got a really good thing going, but I don't think you ever want to really stop and look back too far and start analyzing things. I think while you're in it, you want to stay in it and enjoy the journey.
Well, they are definitely riding high, but they better be on top of their game, because the Oilers head into this series with a high-octane offense and a head full of steam. Now, coming up at 5, we're going to talk about the Avalanche ace in the hole, which is depth, something this team has a ton of. Until then, I'm Aaron Anderson, reporting from Ball Arena for Fox 31.
All right, Aaron, thank you. We're hoping for that win, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, right now, COVID-19 cases across Colorado continuing to rise.
And more restrictions for COVID are returning in some places. Just ahead, the problem solvers are on it with the latest measures being taken.
And if you're looking for some fun things to do this summer, you won't have to travel far. Coming up, the Colorado destinations that are among the best in the nation.
Your Pinpoint Weather hour-by-hour forecast is brought to you by Brakes Plus, where practical people go for exceptional service.
If you're